Task 7 for Linux Privilege Escalation. We'll be targeting SUID or System User ID or System User Group Identification. This assumes that we do not have privileges via sudo command. Can't really check any other file systems that way. Go ahead and get into the machine. Of course, this assumes that we have a username and password for the machine. Start by checking our ID and our privileges. As you can see, we don't have privilege to run sudo. So this lab will focus on finding a way to get root. Let's go ahead and look at the questions. Which user shares the name of a great comic book writer? So we're going to want to find the user share. Since we probably don't have privilege to do that, we can go ahead and just cat etc password file. And this is going to display all usernames and passwords on the system. Right here we can see Ubuntu system, home of Jerry Conway, home of user 2, home of Karen. These are the users. So what user shares the name of comic book writer? Jerry Conway. Next, let's go ahead and look for the password of user 2. Since we're unable to cat into the etc shadow folder as Karen, we're actually unable to see the hash of any users or passwords. So what we're going to do is try to exploit the binary here. Via an executable. So you will notice these files have an S-bit set showing their special permissions level. So what we're going to go ahead and do is try to find files that have a binary running that we can exploit via GTF bin and or bypass. So what we do is take this command here, find type F perm 04000 ls2 dev null. Search for every file. Once this is done, we can have a look at all of the read-write privileges as well as files that have binaries. So since we're looking for SUID in this case, we'll go ahead and click on SUID on the GTF bin and get started. Save some time here, right? And you can take a look, like we're running daemon services, which should be the Ubuntu. We're going to go ahead and look at this base 64 here. Go ahead on the list for the binaries and take a look at the SUID. So if the binary has the SUID bit set, it does not drop the elevated privileges and may be abused to access the file system, escalate, or maintain privilege access as SUID backdoor. This example creates a local SUID copy of the binary and runs it to maintain elevated privileges. So go ahead and take this L file. So looking for file to read. So it's going to read a file and copy it, and that way we can actually read the file as well. So when we go over here, now left file to read, And we are looking for the etc password file. Alright, then we go over back to GTOF bin, and it looks like we're gonna try to take this command here, lf file again. We're going to look for the file in base64 to decode, as we are. So since we found a binary that may possibly restrict, or since we found a binary that may possibly bypass restrictions, we'll go ahead and look for that same file here, but instead it's going to be user bin base64 instead of base64. We'll decode that. User bin base64 etc password not found. Oh, well, that's because we are looking to read after successfully decoding and copying the file via the privilege escalation vector provided by the GTFO bin, can now see the hash of the user's passwords, right? Including Jerry, user2, and Karen. So let's go ahead and go back to the question. What's the password of user2? I'll take the hash here. Copy it, and we're gonna have to create a file so we can use John the Ripper to decode and crack this hash. We now have the hash of the password stored under the user2.txt. We're going to go ahead and run John the River to crack the hash. We're going to use the rocku.txt file, followed by the user2. Hopefully that's the command. Alright, looks like it is the command. We have one password hash, lost one iteration count, while run to open fast root rocku, no text file rocku. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is look for that fucking file. Rocku.txt root desktop tool wordless. Here we have the crack the password hash. Password. What is the content of the flag3.txt file? So let's go ahead and, since we don't have any privileges as this user, we've already established that, we're going to go ahead and switch to the user of user2 now and see if we have privileges in order to view the flag3.txt. So we can go SU, switch user, user2. Well, that's because we're not on the correct system, right? So what we're going to go ahead and do is go back to the right system. SU user, so ls. Yeah. So switch user, user2. We are now logged in as user2. Alright, permission denied for the flag 3. So although we've been able to escalate privileges one time to another user, we are actually unable to view the flag or the contents of this file. So what we can actually do is use the same technique that we just used to read the etc shadow file and just read this etc flag file. So lf file the read. In this case, it's going to be home. We're going to flag3.txt. I'll get the other command, decoding. And user bin base64 lf file decode. We will now decode flag 3. We have successfully decoded flag 3. Here's the flag. THM 3847834.